We wanted to kick the 6 bills that we have in the House Rules Committee out of committee to move this process forward. Obviously, you're probably looking at the Senate bill being the vehicle just because it's already gone through, an entire consideration in the Senate. But we wanted everybody to have the choices to be able to air out on the House floor. And again, we still do need an agreement between really all 4 caucuses to get redistricting reform done. But we wanted to keep the process rolling so that if that agreement occurs, we're in a good position to actually effectuate the amendment to be done by the House and the Senate.
How far are you from that agreement between 4 caucuses?
I think there's still some differences. Certainly with the Senate, they added the judicial component to it. I have a feeling that'll probably cut both ways in the House. I have some folks really for it, some folks who have some concerns about it, I'm sure, in both caucuses. People still have some differences of opinions on what redistricting reform should look like. We had a caucus last week on it. I think the Democrats have talked about it a great deal as well. So, I don't know whether it can all come together, but we certainly want to be in a position, if it does, where, we're not holding up that process and we're moving forward and it's ready to go.
When's this coming up on the floor?
We just kicked it out right now, so they'll be added to the voting calendar. I forget the technical, how many days you have to wait or stuff like that. So I think it could potentially be added. And folks, we want to make sure they have ample opportunity for the amendment process. I notified our caucus yesterday that we would be kicking these bills out so that folks could prepare their amendments for the floor. And I know the Democrats will do the same so that everybody can have their opportunity to be heard in this process.
Do you have an idea in your own mind about what it ought to look like?
Well, I think it should look like 2449, which is the bill with my name on
So
overall.
Are you going to propose an amendment to put that into the
Look, I'm sure I will propose my amendment. I'm sure everybody will propose their own amendments who have had other pieces of legislation. But as I've said from the beginning, that was a beginning of the process for me. That was some thoughts that I had. I am open to changes and interpretation to that, absolutely.
If the agreement is reached between you and the Senate, do you run the bill on final vote on Friday?
I don't know where we get to in that process. And look, I understand that folks kind of look at this July deadline as the end-all be-all. I will say this, even if it went beyond the July deadline and you change redistricting reform into the future, if somebody would have done that 10 years ago, we wouldn't be dealing with the situation we have today. So I would like to have it done in time for the 2020 redistricting. If that's not the case, but we could still change the process for the next 100 years, that's still a good outcome to the situation.